So many things is happening in the Middle East, and currently we have the war between US Israel versus Iran. And there's so many people who have taken side towards this particular conflict. But this conflict never started today, and the reason why we're having global turmoil really is spawned out from that particular place called the Middle East. It all started when um, the House in 1917 sought out the need for establishment of a state of the Jews in the land of the Palestine in Switzerland. So, however, in 1947, during the David Ben Gurion, through David Ben Gurion, a state of Israel was established by the Balfour Declaration in 1948, in the month of May. But when that land was really given to them, you see, a lot of things went on. When Israel was established in 1948, a lot of Arab neighbors were very angry about the establishment of a Jewish state in Palestine. And the Palestine, which is formerly in the Bible called the Philistine, were so angry about it. Remember, Philistine is where David and Goliath fought their battle, and that's the place called Philistine, that's where Goliath actually came from. So the establishment further, the Israelis further expanded their land in 1967, declining on the border that was given to them, and that border was never respected, and the Israelites sought to expand the land beyond the range of the current landmass that was given to them. But why is that place so particular? Why is that place the world is so interested in that place? The reason is this: that particular land holds a lot of energy and liquefied natural gas. There's a lot of resources over in that place, which is yet to be explored. So there's political interest and religious interest in that particular place. That's why you have the Jerusalem, the rock, and also that's where you also have the Kaaba, in Mecca. That's where you have the headquarters of Islamic religion. So they hold so many spiritual significance and also of political interest as well. So the geopolitics of the world is actually centered on that particular Middle East, and ever since then, it has not been easy for the people of Israel actually, because they sought to really expand their land beyond the borders that was given to them. So the reason for the expansion, part of the reason for the expansion also is the idea that Hamas is trying to terrorize their land and take over so they have the genuine reason now to expand further. But what is the limit of their expansion? And that is the fear of everybody. The limit of their expansion is based upon what was promised to the people of Israel to Abraham. The book of Genesis chapter 15 verse 18 talks about how the people of the land that will be given to them will be taken from the people of the people of Philistines. The land of the Philistines will be given to them, and the land expand from the Great River Niger to that of the Euphrates River, which is the Great River. So pretty much that land encompasses the entire Middle East. So if you see the reason why Jordan is having a crisis, Syria is having a crisis, Lebanon is having a crisis, Egypt also, the west side of it is also having a crisis, is because the stability of that particular region would bring unrest to Israel. But when that place is destabilized, it will further need the expansion of Israel, because Israel border, what they have planned for, should cut across almost the entire land of the Middle East. So the more reason why Iran is so interested in it, because the fall of those Arab nations will bring about the fall of Iran, which is formerly Persia. So the ideal thing is that Israel really wants to control the Persian Gulf up to the Red Sea, to the Suez Canal, and to the Nile River. They just want to control the entire region in that particular. So that land, the current state of Israel, the dream to establish the greater Israel, the land of the Israel, and that will cover the entire Middle East. So a promise of old is now being formulated in our current region, that the land of Israel must surely expand. And how do I know this? If you look at the badge of the Israeli Defense Force, the badge, you will see there's a particular logo, this particular logo here. The logo indicates a lot of people think it's just ordinary CG. No, it's far much more than that. Okay, if you look at that particular land, you will see the particular map if you superimpose it, you will see it covering the whole of the land from River Nile up to the Euphrates River, up to the Iraq. So if you remember, Iraq fought a war. This is due to the request of Israel. Syria fought a war, request of Israel. Jordan is going to fight a war. Lebanon also is going to face the same problem. Part of Saudi Arabia, which I believe should be the last part of it that will be fought, we're still going to face a problem. And if you watch very well, Kuwait also faced a problem because they fought with Iraq a certain time. It is due to the expansion of Israel. So if you watch United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Oman, these countries, they were really not always involved in this particular conflict, except recently when Iran tried to bomb the United States air base over there. So that's more reason why they're having issues. Otherwise, those land does not pose any threat to Israel, and it's not part of their land. That's more reason why you see currently they are not fighting. So Qatar is not involved. United Arab Emirates is not involved. Saudi Arabia is not involved. Neither do Oman also is not involved as well. So that's why they are excluded from this battlefield. So Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt are all involved. When the Arab Spring started, Egypt was greatly hit because of the takeover of the Muslim Brotherhood. So all is due to the expansion of Israel. There's a grand plan of Greater Israel to really expand its current territory to the entire Middle East, covering the Mesopotamia, the Red Sea, the Nile River, Suez Canal, and Persian Gulf. They need to control the whole land because they know at the end of the day, they will take the entire coastline of the Persian Gulf, which will include part of Iran, and Bahrain would be taken over, Qatar, Oman, they'll be taken over. I suggest that one. So that will be involved in that particular war later on, but not now. So now it's just the expansion of the Jewish land. But you see, the land was taken out of the land. This particular promised land was the land given to Abraham. So initially, that land belonged to the Philistine, which is the current modern day Palestine. So according to Abraham, he heard from God, Elohim, that the land of the Middle East will be given to them. But don't forget also, the Muslims also have this particular idea that their God also gave them the land for their inheritance forever. So if that be the case, what will now be the fate of those people who are not in a religious situation? How will the land be divided among them? So, but notwithstanding, this is the reason why we are having problem in that land. And if you take a close look at the map of Israel, if you see the map of Israel is blue, white, and blue. The blue there, whenever you see blue in a map, it signifies water. So this will always tell you it is the water or the sea, which is the first blue, from the Nile River, even from out to the Red Sea, to the Euphrates River. The source of the Euphrates River is from the Persian Gulf. So the land between the Euphrates River and that of the Nile River, these are the boundary of the flag of Israel. That's why you see it as blue and white and blue. The white there, a lot of people think white means peace. In political flag, the white means to erase, to completely erase the originality of what is there. So when you see that white that is there in the middle of it, it shows that Israel will wipe out all people within that particular land. That's why you see all wars going on in that place. It shows that they are about to fight a greater war in cleaning up the entire land from those people occupying that place. So the original people definitely are going to be erased. That's the meaning of the white there. So that's why you have the blue, the white, and the blue. The white there indicates that they're going to erase all the original people that were there and will be given to them for their inheritance forever. So with that being said, you see the reason why the Middle East has become a cauldron of destabilization and terrorism all over the world. Through that particular region, the world is facing real calamity in terms of oil shortage and energy control. Liquefied natural gas and oil are more in supply in that particular region. So that's the more reason why Israel is so much interested in the resources over there, because that's the end game of all of this. So the Middle East has become a geopolitical and strategic interest of the entire global world, of the world itself. So, but notwithstanding, this also happens in Nigeria as well. So I've already tell you the reason why we're having that particular turmoil in the Middle East is because of what? Land grab and energy. Energy, when I talk about the energy, I'm talking about the liquefied natural gas and the oil in that particular region. That's the more reason why Israel is so much interested in that place, and also for so much spiritual benefit as well. So the color of the flag is not a mistake. From all indication now, you can see that the color of the flag of Israel is not a mistake. The blue, the white, and the blue. From the waters to the waters. The white also means erasure, cleaning up everything, every nation that is already there. You erase it completely and establish a new one there. That's the more reason why you have it. Now, you would think that this one is only peculiar to the land of Israel. This is also replicated in our land. Why the Israel flag is blue, white, blue. Nigeria flag is green, white, green. Remember, the Middle East is in turmoil because of their resources. And also in Nigeria, since you have it as the green, white, and green. Nigeria is in turmoil. Lots of the problem we have in Nigeria are from the middle belt. The white there signifies that something, some way or the other, they are going to erase the original people in that particular land, which the main reason why we are having the green, white, green. Green itself is vegetation. So the vegetation span also from the vegetation of the north, which inclusive of the Sabista forest and all that, to the vegetation of the south, which includes the mangrove swamp forest in the southern region of Nigeria. So, but notwithstanding, there is bound to be an establishment or a complete erasure of the states in the middle belt. That is the interest I think is going to happen someday. And that's the more reason why we are having so much turmoil in that particular region. The region we have in there, like the Nasarawa, Benue, Jos, Kwara, and some other places that are of the Middle Belt region, they are always in turmoil. We can see the herdsman-farmer clashes predominantly causing huge economic problem vis-a-vis the shortage of food. Farmers are no longer farming. The herdsmen are usually coming to those regions to destabilize that particular place. Killing and banditry is predominant over that particular region. The reason why, because of the flag. The flag itself shows that someone, some way or the other, has really thought of this. So it is a project. I believe the project of the flag is not a Nigerian thing. Not even a Nigerian did that. So we're giving that flag, what so to say, because they know at the end of the day, the middle belt will be completely erased from that particular map. And I believe the map itself should be green, white, greens, placed horizontally, not even vertically. It should be placed horizontally. If it placed horizontally, it shows that the middle belt should be the green part of the map, which should be erased. And if you watch very well, the conflict, most of the conflict in Nigeria are really centered on that particular middle belt, which shows that those states will be completely erased and something will be established in that particular place, separating the north from the south. Maybe they're about to separate the north from the south by establishment of another state in the Middle East, which will serve as a buffer zone between the north and the southern part of Nigeria. Probably it's a greater project that we have in itself. Notwithstanding, two things I've said earlier in the Middle East, that the establishment of the conflict of the Middle East is due to land grab and energy. The conflict in the middle part of Nigeria is land grab and also resources, and that resources also is termed as what the energy as well. Nigerian flag is green, white, green. If you see very well, if you type on Google and see the word green, request Google to search for the old spelling of green. You will see that the green color, the old spelling of green is not the same green we have there today. It is spelled differently. If you take a mirror of the old spelling of green, what you will see there is energy, which shows the problem we are having there is energy. You see, the English language is a kind of language that is like a spell. It's not an ordinary language like we try to interpret it with. It's filled with a lot of spell, it's filled with a lot of symbols, it's filled with a lot of names that we just don't understand so easily. But if you put it in proper perspective, you understand. So the word energy is what we get as the word green. The old spelling of green is energy when you turn it upside down. And there's a reason why. That means that particular sport in Nigeria basically is all about energy. So, but what is really about the green flag? So our flag really ought not to be green, white, and green. The flag ought to be complete green color. The establishment of green, white between those two colors shows that someone somewhere has made a greater plan to erase the entire middle belt, and that's the reason why they are still having conflict to date, just as you're having a conflict in the Middle East till tomorrow. The same thing, you're having so much conflict today in the middle belt of Nigeria. So, and if that is done, if the Nigerian flag is changed to a complete green flag, that will actually send a message to the people who gave the color of the flag to Nigeria. Though they said it's Akinkunmi, but I don't think it's really the one that did that. There's a greater person that did that particular flag for us, and the name Akinkunmi just came on board, I think so, because it is too coincidental for that flag to just come up that way. So it's just not ordinary flag. That land is land of Nigeria is a land full with a lot of energy. So many things are happening there. I believe it's a codon of something we really don't know, but later on probably we'll know things about it. So this is the more reason why Gaddafi was murdered, because he actually changed his flag from the green, black, red to the green color. And he actually had a green book he was using. And he actually see why United African Union has their flag to be green. Gaddafi knew something about the flag. That's the more reason why the flag was changed from the color. So that's why immediately Gaddafi died, they changed the color back from green to the old color. A lot of countries has this particular green and white.
Listen to this, because this is very fucking wild.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon, and one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you gotta come in and talk to me a second." He says, "We've made the decision, we're going to war with Iraq." I said, "We're going to war with Iraq? Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, "I just got this down from upstairs," meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
It's like insane that this was just said. How do they not talk about that every day? Listen.
So Nigeria also is part of the same system as well. The middle belt of Nigeria will be taken out, except we have to change our color of flag to green completely without that white. So the middle belt color part of Nigeria is not white and completely green. Then to be safe, then we send a message to those other people